To back up Azure SQL Query Performance Insight, start by understanding the importance of monitoring and optimizing database performance. Azure SQL Database provides a feature called Query Performance Insight, which helps identify performance issues and provides recommendations for improvement. First, navigate to the Azure portal and select your Azure SQL Database server. In the left menu, click on Query Performance Insight under the Intelligent Performance section. This will take you to the Query Performance Insight dashboard, where you can view top resource-consuming queries, query duration, and CPU usage. To back up Query Performance Insight data, you will need to use Azure SQL Database's built-in auditing and logging capabilities. Enable auditing on your Azure SQL Database server by clicking on Auditing and Logging under the Security section. Select the audit logs you want to retain, including query store runtime statistics and query text. Next, configure diagnostics settings to export the audit logs to a storage account or log analytics workspace. This will allow you to retain the data for a longer period and analyze it using various tools. To do this, click on Diagnostics Settings under the Monitoring section and add a new diagnostics setting. Select the logs you want to export, including query store runtime statistics and query text. In addition to auditing and logging, you can also use Azure SQL Database's Query Store feature to capture and retain query performance data. Query Store provides a repository of query plans, runtime statistics, and query text, which can be used to analyze and optimize query performance. To enable Query Store, run the following tsql command. Alter database. Your database name. Set query_store equals on. To back up Query Store data, you can use the Azure SQL Database's Database Backup feature. Take a full database backup, which will include the Query Store data. You can also use the Azure Database Backup feature to automate backups and retain them for a longer period. Best practices for backing up Azure SQL Query Performance Insight include regularly reviewing and analyzing query performance data to identify areas for optimization. Use the Query Performance Insight dashboard to monitor query performance and identify top resource-consuming queries. Use Query Store to capture and retain query performance data. And configure diagnostics settings to export audit logs to a storage account or log analytics workspace. By following these steps and best practices, you can effectively back up Azure SQL Query Performance Insight and use the data to optimize and improve the performance of your Azure SQL database. This will help you identify and resolve performance issues, reduce costs, and improve the overall efficiency of your database operations.